It's now late afternoon of August the 20th. The heat of the day has brought almost all physical exertion to a complete halt. You can still think on days like this, but just barely.
It has been 5 years since one of those great wars to end all wars that you hear and read about in the news. I'm not sure there will ever be a war to end all wars. This big man-made catastrophe was sometimes known as the Great Patriotic War, but most people referred to it as the Second World War, a war filled with blitzkriegs and the Ghost Division. The world seems to have left all that bloodletting behind for the moment, and I sense a new optimism in the air. New York City is truly one big melting pot. New Yorkers are made up of citizens and refugees from every nationality in the world. I see all of them as I spend my days wandering her streets. Believe me, I hear every possible language there is on the face of this earth. I like to come here to Central Park in the late afternoon to collect my thoughts for the day, read the newspaper, maybe feed a few pigeons, and just sort of meditate. I always sit at this bench almost every day. I guess it's kinda my bench, you might say. I like to have it all to myself, and I don't really like any kind of invaders. Hey, who's that guy? He sure does look different. About his eyes was strengthening as the day was slowly becoming early evening. No hint of suffering marked his face. It had nothing in common with the worn-lined faces that I am familiar with in New York. Some of those faces have features stamped forever with the Gestapo branding irons. On the contrary, his face held a mixture of boldness and serenity. Impulsively, I decided he was a musician. I imagined him conducting a choir of 50,000 voices.
Ich mag Musik. Ich mag Musik. Entschuldige, New Yorker, ich bin in letzter Zeit auf dem Drahtseil zwischen vielen Welten gelaufen und vergesse manchmal, wo ich bin.
I am fond of music. Sorry, New Yorker, I have been walking the tightrope between many worlds of late, and I sometimes forget where I am.
How did he know what I was thinking? I didn't mention anything about music. I decided to just forget about it. Just be polite. You aren't a native New Yorker, are you?
No. I am a displaced person.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Care to tell me about it?
I would be wasting your time.
No problem, my man. I'm just here wasting my time anyway.
Care to walk a bit?
Sure, why not? Clear the head.
These days, it's an all too familiar story. A leader became so blinded by his glory and his power that he no longer could perceive his own mistakes. He developed delusions of grandeur, posed as the final judge and jury on everything, from birth to death, and thereby brought into being a movement for his overthrow.
I see.
He created the seeds of his own destruction. It was inevitable in the circumstances.
That seems to be the way of the world. To hell with dictators! The revolt, it didn't succeed?
No, it proved to be too weak and too early. It was crushed. And then came the purge. I organized the opposition. I still think it was justified. But I dare not go back.
That's horrible. Might I ask you if we might return to the park bench? These old legs, they don't get me around like they used to.
No problem. We are almost back to the park anyway.
It's a good thing that you are here in New York City, the melting pot of the world.
No, I don't think so. I am not wanted anywhere in the world.
This is a free country. Here, you can do whatever you want, within reason.
No man is free until he is beyond his enemy's reach. When one's foe has gained the upper hand, gained control of every channel of propaganda, uses them exclusively to promote his own case, and utterly suppress mine, and damns the truth in advance as the worst of lies, there's no hope for me.
You're in America now. We have free speech here. A man can say what he likes and even write whatever he wants.
If only that it were true. I'm sorry, my new friend. I must be going. One last thing, would that I had 1/10 of your comforting faith. By the way, my name is Lucifer.
This evening's teleplay was my version of Displaced Person, circa 1948, and it owes a lot to a fantasy short story by Eric Frank Russell.